Hey, welcome back. Another episode of Discombobulated. I'm your host, Bobby Jaycox, playing you the hits, showing you my tits, taking fluticasone propionate up my nose. 2 a day keeps the fucking... 2 a day keeps the breathing. Better if you don't breathe in the hay. Dude, I've had bad... Oh, God, I don't like that. I have bad allergies. Don't we all? And they get worse. And this year I got medicine for it. I've never had nothing prescribed by a doctor. Azelastine HCI. This one's gross. Oh! What meds are you taking right now? Can't they make... I can't do a pill of that? I can't pop a pill and do that? Oh, I don't like how that feels. Oh, hey, that's how it feels getting older. You used to be partying, doing lines of not Azelastine HCI. Once healthcare becomes illegal, that is what they're going to do. You'll be like, hey man, can I get some Azelastine? And then they sell it to you and you have a little baggie of liquid. And then you go into a bathroom secretly and you take a steroid in your nose that helps your nose. And people are like, hey, are you breathing in there? And you're like, no, not at all. Because that's what's going to happen. The pollen's going to get so bad. Maybe, honestly, pollen does seem like it's trying to kill us. It's like trees. This isn't my thought. I've seen this, it's a fucking meme or whatever, but trees actually grow us to then we die and then they keep growing. So it's like they might be in charge. They seem like they're in charge. They don't even care when you pee on them or fucking build a tree on them, put a swang on that thing. You even cut it down and all of its friends are just like... They don't say anything. But then they're like, redwood trees actually do walkie-talkie to each other. They're like, hey, they're cutting one of us down. They're like, 10-4. Sending some of my nutrients over, buddy. Sorry about that. We've been talking because there's a lot of fires out here. But yeah, so I think pollen is actually trying to get inside of us to kill us. I do think I had allergies when I was a kid, a little, probably bad, but I didn't, I think that's just like I think my parents were probably just like, yeah, everyone's like, but then I have this and it really burns in the back. But then after I'm done with it, I do feel like I can breathe a little bit better and I don't have to blow my nose 17 fucking times a day. Just fucking. I had to do it where was I the other day? I was, I think was I at a coffee shop? No, where was I? So I was just sitting there and I had to, it was at the doctor's office. I'm sitting there to get a checkup because of this. I was like, I know I'm not sick. I just feel like I fucking allergies or whatever. Which, dude, oh my God, dude. When I went to the doctor the other day and I remember being a kid, this is how I am this age now where I complain about how stuff used to be. But I remember when I was a kid and you would go to the doctor and you'd walk right up and then they already had fucking COVID dividers. You would just walk up and until they're ready to talk to you, they won't. And then it's, and they open that little door up. Hi, how can I help you today? My son's fucking sick as fucking shit. Can you make him not sick as shit? Shut up. Yeah, we could try. Go ahead and just sit down. Go ahead and have your sick kid play with the same toys all the other sick kids are playing with. Go ahead and have your sick kid go ahead and play with the dumbest toy you've ever seen. It's a wire screwed around, and we have little balls that we've put on them, and you have your kid drive them from one side to the other. In case maybe they're on one of those fucking game shows when they grow up, and they have to do the one, but it's electricity. That will prepare them for that. Other than that, it'll just get everyone sick touching the same fucking gross toys while we're waiting for you. We're ready to see you, Miss Jaycox. Is it Jaycox or Jaycox? How many dicks? How many dicks is it? That was my joke to subs. I probably never said it out loud. I would just say it like quietly to my friends. They're like, Jaycox. I'm like, it's plural. Man. Fucking really got her by not saying it out loud. Anyway, or him. But yeah, so we were all just like little sick kids, and then they'd call you back. But I went to the doctor the other day, and instead of just walking right up there, I checked in, I believe 3 times. 4. So you make an appointment online now, which you did not usually have to do. There was a lot of walk-ins, and maybe you would call up. So I make an appointment online, then I get a confirmation from that, which is like, we'll call it 1.5 steps, whatever. We'll call it 1. You get the fucking thing. Then I show up, and there's a big computer screen, and I do all that. And then there's another screen that's like, did you do that? Here's your birthday. And then you meet a person, and she's like, did you do all that? I'm like, I did all 3 things. I emailed you guys. I stopped at the big computer, took a mini pit stop at a tiny computer, and now I'm in front of you. And she's like, just to verify that you're yourself from the email, those 2 computers, and now me. What is your date of birth? So then you got to do that, and then you sit down, and then you get wait to be seen. And then that part was semi-normal. A little bit. So yeah, they got me on some stuff because my fucking my allergies have been not good. And my hearing has been off. So I had to fucking find out that they're like, yeah, your hearing is not great. It's not bad. But there were some lines that could have been higher or whatever. God, and whenever I was a kid, they used to make you do this for the audio test. They'd be like, beep, and you'd have to raise one of the hands. Now you just get a little clicker gun, which feels so much better. You're like, and then you think even if you think you hear one, I'm like, I kind of hear a constant ringing. Does that matter if I constantly hear like, if I constantly hear that, is that bad hearing? Like, yes, it is. You got that rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom. Don't matter. You're just not hearing right. She didn't have to hit that. It scared me. She didn't have to check on my nostrils like that. My roomie's out there. She's doing some work on her yard. Which the other day she'd like pulled stuff that she was like moving off of her porch, and I remember that I had power washed it whenever I first like moved in. I called her. I was like, do you want it power washed? I was like, I just want to make sure you want to before I do it. Because I only have it for 2 more hours. I had to return the fucking power washer. The heaviest thing besides this AC unit that I own, this shit is so heavy. And so I brought it over, and I had like for 2 more hours. And if you stay late, it's charged more. But I was like, let me do it. And I fucking power washed it. But I literally couldn't get the whole other side. Well, or no, it's like I got all the stairs. I got all the stairs, and then the left side, and then the right side. But honestly, there's only like of that whole like side. Whenever you walk up, there's like only like a strip around that you can see, and it was like super like discolored and stuff. But man, power washing, those videos are fun, and man, when you do the job, it is kind of fun. It is exhausting because you're out in the heat and shit like that, but it's not a bad gig. Why am I saying all these things? Anyway, yeah, so the pollen's been bad, and I think trees are trying to kill us, and I hate checking in at the doctor's office, so that's all she wrote. That was the podcast. That's actually the amount I need. I feel like that people can like handle me. Even so my uncle the other day told me he listens to my podcast. And he said something really funny. When I say he actually said something like funny, it's not like he's not funny. Like he cracks me up. But I mean in the way of like, about the podcast. And he goes, well, you had an episode. I listened to your one from the 4th of July, and he goes, you had a backwards hat on, and your like hair was hanging out. And he goes, you kind of look like, he's like, Jay and Silent Bob. He's like, you could be not so Silent Bob. It's like, that's actually a good point. And I kind of look like Jay. I'm like, I should have something like, it's like Smoking Jays with not Silent Bob. I got to do that. I'll bring my Uncle Mike on. We'll have a good time. I'll bleep out that part if he needs me to. But yeah, that's so funny. And he knows this. He's bald. I roast it because here's the thing. Do you have family members that like I feel like, and I don't know if this is my experience or just others, but when I was a kid, I kind of remember like, you can't wait to be one of the adults, no matter who you are. I feel like, I don't know, like some people must love being kids, I guess, but like I always wanted to be like, when can I drive? I wanted to do all of those fucking things. But then for some reason, like people kind of get stuck in their minds of like what you are. So then you kind of grow up and you're an adult now, but they still treat you kind of like a kid. But then sometimes they'll be like, haha, here's adulthood. And my Uncle Mike doesn't ever do that. But I have an aunt that does. Like, you'll literally be like, I had to pay my taxes for the first time. Like, it doesn't mean an adult fucking suck, you little bitch. And you're like, dude, I'll never talk to your kids like that. But those people who like kind of gotcha for like when you get older and stuff like that, you're like, man, my knee kind of hurts. That's about to get like I have a younger brother and we talk about this like that. I don't do that to him. Like whenever stuff like you try to like warn them about stuff and then you kind of talk to them about things that happens. And sometimes like there are like older, younger moments. But like the thing I was going to say about my Uncle Mike is it was Christmas this year and I was my hair's been growing out for years, but also a lot of it was like during COVID, we didn't get to like see each other because I have a grandpa and I don't know how your grandpas are, but he's older. So we didn't want to get him sick. Towards the end, I did like help them like work on their house, which is fucking side note. While we were working on his house, we were like, they've lived in that house for as long as I can remember, my grandpa. And I think he even said, I can't remember. I don't know if his dad owned it, like my grandpa's dad, my great grandpa, or if he said that him and his grandpa, his dad or whatever, had worked on it. But there was a moment where we were taking out the old like sliding glass door and putting in a new one that I was like me, my uncle, my grandpa, and I was like, I'm gonna cry. Like this is crazy how many generations have like I guess worked on this house or whatever. And I was like, that was kind of a cool thing. But then back to the funny thing is when I was growing up my hair, my uncle goes, dude, I can't believe. I go, he goes, I'm never going to get used to you with long hair. And he's been balding for as long as I can know. Sorry, it might happen to me. I don't know how it works. But he goes, I'm never going to get used to you with long hair. And I go, I'm never going to get used to it with short hair. And he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, that's something that's fun that I've been like, I think you own when you get older. I feel like in your 20s, people still kind of treat you like that in between a little bit. And then you're like, well, if you're going to fucking roast me, I'm going to come right back. And it actually does feel good. Like, I feel like being nice is cool. And I think everyone likes to do that. But being a little spunky is funny too. Am I right? It's a little fun. I just heard an owl or I guess a sparrow. I don't know shit about fuck. What are those things that, like, as a bird call, you can't do, and you have to get specific ones. You can't just get a bird call and be like, yeah. What's funny about like on the other end of like whenever you hear those people do those calls or like a you know what I mean? Like if someone's like, you blow into this and it sounds like this. If it didn't have that in front of them, it would just be, even a saxophone is just someone going. Yeah, that's why I play guitar. But God, nothing makes you feel guitar is like kind of stupid looking a little bit once you're like, because I've grown up with it, but once you can like see things for what they are, that, and I have the same feeling on Batman. When you get older, you're like, yeah, he is a guy dressed like a fucking bat. What the fuck? Like, I know that there's superhero movies, but like, maybe it'll catch up, but you're like, why do you have the ears? Don't have ears. You probably imagine Batman just being like, fucking shit, I got caught on that fucking, the top of that. Yeah, don't have the ears. We all know you. You can say Batman, whatever. And your name's Batman. I'm Batman. And the criminals are like, okay. They're like, man, we can't shoot him with guns. And you're like, well, let's try different angles this time. Let's trick them and then shoot them. And how about no more late night racing? Let's let that not be the illegal thing we do that gets us all caught, right? What the fuck am I talking about? That's the pod. I'll try to finish this thought, and then I'll tell you we have a couple of reviews from the podcast, which are excellent. I'm talking about my family getting older. House birds. Oh yeah, on the other end, it's just like, but guitar. Oh yeah, because guitars kind of look stupid just because it's like once you remove them, you're just like, and that kind of looks silly. I think the only one that I think the coolest looking one is probably like drums, like because it's like it is you are like actually it's the most. It's also the most like I guess like early forms of music. You know what I mean? You could everyone could be sitting around a fire like hitting things, but no, what you don't like watch those like it's like we found this old tribe and they had a synthesizer. Oh my god. So yeah, that shit. That's what I was talking about. Like that looks stupid. It just kind of looks stupid. Yeah, as you get older, there's a lot. That was. Oh yeah, dude. Shots look stupid too, right? My hair looks stupid right now too. Fucking fucked it all up. Yeah, like I'm not drinking. I'll drink. You know, as you get older, you have to drink less. Your liver's just like, give me a break, please. They're like, your liver's like, what's that meme thing that goes around? Like, brother, ew. Brother, ew. Ew, brother, ew. Brother, ew. That fucking guy. Yeah, that's how I feel about that. Goddamn. Sorry, someone's walking by and my attention span's the worst. Things that look weird. I was talking about that. Guitars. Oh, shots. Like, I'm drinking, but a shot? Just that like quick throwback is so weird. It's like even just be like, why don't you get that on ice and sip on it? But I also know that like I smoke weed and like some of that stuff looks, especially, dude, you ever watch someone smoke wax? They're like, no, dude, this weed's actually really concentrated. Blowtorch. It's the same sound and you take that blowtorch and put it into a saxophone. It's like, they put it to that, and then they're like, oh, it's the hardest you've ever coughed. I'll smoke. I'm saying that. I smoke weed. I'll do those. But like some of that stuff just looks so many of those things look stupid. And when you're a kid, like honestly, God, I gotta get back to that. Like once you get older, you know, you have fun, but you gotta just like be like life is fun. Like some of the silly stuff you can do. Like even, dude, like fucking my buddy was telling me about he went paddleboarding the other day, and he goes, dude, I almost cried. I had so much fun. Like that's what you forget about as you get older. Everyone's like, we gotta go to a rave, we gotta do this, and it's like, dude, you can have fun. Like you can have fun on a bicycle, dude. You can just be cruising along and just be like, oh, this is nice. But you know, you gotta be careful. Cause anything could happen. I didn't plug my dates at the top. I'll clip this up at the beginning. Didn't do it, did I? So I will be, most importantly, this weekend, I will be in, Wisconsin. I will be in Janesville, Wisconsin, which is not far from any of the major cities in Wisconsin. I think it's like it's a short Batman movie away, even less time than most Batman movies from, I think, Milwaukee to Janesville, Wisconsin. So you got to come out to a show, and I have some. AJ Grill is open for me. My boy AJ Grill. He's a beautiful, loving man. He's going to be on the shows. And I have not met her, but I was talking to the manager, and my host is Aaron Morris. And I love AJ, and I love the booker and owner of the club, Nathan Clemens. And I know he took fucking excellent care of me because he was one of the first like comedy owners that I met. That like I met him before he owned the club. And we met on like I had gotten like thrown onto a show last minute, I think by AJ. That's what's cool about comedy, and like something to like remember is that like I've been doing stand up for so long that you like meet these people that like we all help each other out. And he has a special coming out, and so this weekend's gonna be the tits, dude. You got to come out to the show. So I'm really really excited about this weekend. And it's my first time at the club, and he had messaged me early on, was like, what do you like about clubs? What do you not like? And we were chatting on the phone the other day, and he's like, dude, thanks for taking that seriously, because whenever I messaged comics, everyone had to make like a joke about it. And I'm like, it's not funny. People always do that. Everyone always trying to be a comic all the time. And dude, I will fucking be that guy. I'll try to hold court. I'll fucking be the guy being silly. But it's like there are times to just sit around and just be fucking complete human beings, not just fucking again. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's fun. So I think that's why I'm going there, which I'm so excited to go. And then the next weekend, I will be in Lexington, Kentucky at the Broadway Comedy Club, opening for Randy Feltface. Dude, I am so fucking pumped that he is taking me on the road. We were messaging, and he's like, hey, is Lexington too far from me? And I said, it sure is not. And he's taking great care of me, so I am so excited to go work with him. And if you guys are being like, is it... So he's a puppet, and he's the one taking... Yes, I've met him. He's that. There is, like, a guy working him, but he's, like... He's as lifeless as you would assume a puppet would be whenever you're not, like... So it's, like, the puppet's real, and then there's the guy that, like, I guess he's... I don't know I don't know how this happened, through God, the devil, something in between. But, yeah, he's like this... And the whole time or whatever too. I would love to actually meet that person that's working Randy, but so far it's just me and Randy, and Randy does on the road. He does party. He's never never hit me. Okay, this puppet has never hit me. But you've seen their act. They get a little aggressive. I probably shouldn't even be talking about this. No, I am obviously joking. But yeah, I love everything about Randy. And what's cool is the guy who does work Randy. He is actually, and it's not like an on purpose thing. It's not like how I thought Slipknot was, where I'm like, no one knows what they look like. They probably make a music video and have to kill everybody after they see them, or they show up in their masks. But whenever I met Randy Feltface's owner or whatever, could not have been cooler, could not have been nicer. And he's like, yeah, not a lot of people, like, I like this, and I like staying like anonymous. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking cool. He gets to like headline these places that are sold out because of him, and then he can like walk out through the audience and kind of just like, there is something about that. And I guess like pro athletes, well, they get something different. They get like, as soon as you walk out, like to warm up, they're like, everyone's yelling for you and stuff, so you kind of get to see like the crowds show up. But for comedy, it's like, if you're a huge name, once you like walk out, it's like everyone's like, there he is. So it's kind of cool that he gets to walk out and like kind of feel the vibe of the audience, see how everyone's doing. And, you know, there's something to it. I don't really know. You don't do anything specifically. It's just kind of like putting your feet in the pool or whatever before you go out and jump in. So I'm fucking excited about that. So the next 2 weekends, I have shows. And I'm probably going to try to go to Chicago, because I'm going to be in Janesville, and that's really close. So I might go on a Wednesday or Sunday and just fucking go. I might see if I can pop on a show, but it's very last minute. So if anything, I'll just go and check everything out and just hang around, you know. But God, I wish I had some. I forgot. I need some water. It's Kendrick Lamar. Please don't make a diss track about me. I could not handle it. I can eat a water, because I drink. Well, that's how it feels. You do it, and I do these fucking nasal things in the back of my throat, and then I'm like, ugh, I feel crazy. So, very dry mouth. I think of Me, Myself, and Irene, that Jim Carrey movie where he's like, he has to take his antipsychotic medication. He's like, but it gives me unbelievable cotton mouth. And at one point she turned to him, and he's got like, he can't even like move his lips over his teeth. God, dude, we were talking about that the other night. Like certain people, like I was talking with my cousin about it. Like people that were like, you'd want to meet. And we were both talking about Chris Farley, because we all loved him growing up. And like my cousin Chris is very like silly Billy like that too. And it's like, I think we all are. But like I always remember my cousin like loving that stuff and like trying to do pratfalls and like us making each other laugh, like being like doing bits and stuff, not trying doing. And like we would just all do these fucking silly ass things from watching these movies. But Jim Carrey is one that I was like, dude, if I was like just in a room and he like walked in, I'd be like, there's my dad. I would be like, that man is my father. But yeah, there's like, and it's like sucks that you can't meet Chris Farley because he's dead. But we were talking about like that, and I've gotten lucky because I was like, we were starting to talk about it because I got to meet Dane Cook when I was in LA, and he was like, he wasn't the first stand up I saw. I remember that was Blue Collar Comedy Tour, which is very wild to think about. I remember watching that movie, and I came home and I told my dad, I was like, what was that? I just watched. It was like, I can't remember what it was called. It's called like Blue Jean America. And I don't know what it was, but it wasn't a movie. I was like trying to explain it. I was like, it wasn't a movie. They were like just joking around. Like I don't remember if I could like articulate. Like I remember not knowing how to articulate it, but I don't remember what I said. And then I do remember my dad being like, "What they're doing like stand up," and I was like, he like just hearing him say that, it felt like my neighbor was like, "We have a computer," and I'm like, "Dad, they got a TV, but you can click on it." He's like, "A computer?" I'm like, "You knew about this and didn't tell me." Dad, I wanted to watch that so bad. And I remember loving it. Like seeing Ron White for the first time, fucking Larry the Cable Guy, like all that. It was like 4 different guys, Jeff Foxworthy and then Bill Engvall. And just seeing those guys when you were younger and having like a taste of that was wild. But then after that, it was like Dane Cook. I remember like I was drunk. I was underage drinking at a college with my dad and my cousin at Southeast Missouri State in Strawberry Fields apartment complex. And that is where I would say that is like where I was like turned on to stand. Like I was like stand up, like definitely performing. I always like liked the idea of being like, I liked Jim Carrey. I was like these guys. But the first time I was sitting there and I was drinking a little too much, I guess. And I started to feel a little silly, because I'm a child. This is not good, by the way. I am not advocating this. I'm telling a story. It's just a story of a girl who took a drink and he drowned the whole world in his stand-up because I got to hear Dane Cook for the first time. And I remember I was like starting to get like this. My cousin was like, "Hey, maybe you should like listen to this." And I remember like putting in my head, like his headphones. And I was like, I think I said something. I was like, "What is this, Led Zeppelin?" Like, because I remember I was like that age. I had been like, I don't remember what grade I was in. I want to say I was like between 13 and 15. I don't remember. And he's like, "This guy just came to our school," which is cool because when I met Dane Cook, I got to tell him this story. And he was like so cool to like watch him laugh. He'd be like, "How old were you?" So I got to like tell him this story. I'm such a dry mouth. And yeah, I was like at this college and I remember he put it in. I think it was like the Kool-Aid bit that Dane Cook did or something. I just remember like how someone describes hearing a guitar solo for the first time or like seeing a painting and you're like, I'm going to walk through a portal of that world. Like I've never put it like that, but that felt like the first time there was like a portal of like, if you can choose if there's the multiverse is real and you choose which realities you want, I went into like that one. Off of like that day, I remember I was like, "What is this?" And I became infatuated. And then I remember going to school and like being like, "Have you heard of him?" Like if someone knew Dane Cook's name, they automatically became your friend. Like, we are friends, and let's just quote him back and forth. And I remember like hearing him, and it's like we were all like there was like a level of friends that I had that we were all like already like fucking funny and silly like that. And I know it's weird because I know some people are like, "I love Dane Cook," and some people are like, "Yeah, I don't know." And I'm like, I always felt like when I was younger, I'm like, this guy has jokes I've never heard before. He's introducing me to storytelling, and it just seemed like something that like no one had ever like exposed me to. It just felt like it was like the most fresh thing I could ever remember like feeling, I feel like, or seeing. So yeah, that was just, anyway, I don't know. That was just like one on a tangent. But I remember like hearing that for the first time. And then I also in Strawberry Fields walked these 2 college girls home. No, 1 college girl, because we all went swimming together. And then she was like, "I can't find my friend." And I was like, "I'll help you find your friend." And she goes, "Yeah, okay, walk with me." And so I'm walking with this, like, this is probably the hottest girl I'd ever seen in my life. Like, we're at a college. We're both like in swim trunks. I just like, our swimsuits or whatever. And I remember I walked this girl back to her apartment, and I swear to God, and then there was another girl who was at the pool. She was there. She goes, "Oh, you're here." And then I was like, "All right." And the girl goes, "Do you want something to drink?" I bet I was like, at that point, I remember being like, "Can I have a water?" Because I didn't want, you know what's crazy? I bet I didn't want to get in trouble while doing something wrong already. Because I wasn't like, if my dad was like, I was scared of my dad for fucking sure. So I'm literally like, "Can I have a water?" And I remember I was like drinking water and I was like, dude, I'm like like they had their own TV. They were like living together. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck? And then in like the distance I hear, "Bobby! Bobby! Bobby!" Like there was like a search party And then I was like, ladies, I gotta go. I gotta go follow my destiny. So I remember I like walk out and I was like walking towards and I see my dad. I'm like, hi. And I remember knowing I was going to get out of trouble if I didn't sneak, because like I didn't sneak off to go drink with some people. I do think my dad worried sometimes that I was going to be gay. So, and 90s gay, dude, in the 90s, dads were just like, they were like, we'll get in trouble if our kid's gay. And I never felt, what's weird is that I kind of, because I was called gay so much by like my teachers, my coaches, my friends, my family. I literally was like, I guess I'll probably be gay. I don't fucking know. I'm sitting cross-legged right now. That's fucking, anyway. So it was like at this time that I remember my dad, I was like, oh, he'll like, and I remember he was walking towards me. My cousin was behind him. And my dad was like, where were you? But then he was also trying to act cool because he didn't want to like a loser dad in front of some college kids at a summer school. None of us should have been there. My cousin should have passed his classes. My dad shouldn't have. None of us should have been there. But hey, I'll live with it. And they'll live with it. And we all made it out. And sometimes, yeah, dude, the early 2000s, how old was I? Like, it had to be like 2003-ish or whatever. Felt like 2005. So, yeah, I remember seeing my dad and I was like, I was at these girls' house, and I remember my cousin behind had like, I remember he like, what's that guy from Mortal Kombat? He had like fucking 4 arms and 4 thumbs sticking up in the air. He's like, nice, Bobby. Very proud of you. Highly want to be proud of you. So, that was like the beginning of, the sail into my, comedic career. And walking chicks home to just make sure they're doing all right. I did remember like asking her, and was like trying to be like a gentleman. I remember being like, may I walk you back? And she was like, yeah. And because I also remember I remember there was a kid I grew up with that would like see older girls and like try to be like, I'm going to go talk to them. I'm like, what? Like we would be on like the beach and we're in like 5th grade and these girls are in like 8th grade, which you might as well be fucking, it's like 19 and then the other person's fucking 67 years old. I remember he like walked up to some, oh fuck, I did it with him though too. I just remembered because I was hanging out with him. I am not excluded from this. We did like walk up to some girls and like on the beach, but I think like his older sister was like daring us. Yeah, but I did like walk up and I'm like, hey, could I get your number? And then I remember a cute girl that was the sister's friend. It was like their friend or cousin. We were hanging out with like some people they knew on the beach. I remember she buried me in the sand. And I'm like, I am so glad I'm buried right now because she like would put the sand on it and it like would be on your chest and she's not touching your chest, but she's like putting sand and you're like, oh my God, I've never had sand feel like this before. And yeah, those like early days when you have like no idea what you're doing. You're just like, what's up, girl? You know, but God, those are some awkward years. Oh, God. So, but hey, at least I'm being honest. My buddy, I was like going to throw it all on him. I did it too. I asked for a girl's number when I was in 5th grade. You know what? That 5th grader should have been put in prison. Someone's on the beach patrol. They're in their mouth going, their beach patrol comes up. Excuse me, sir. What's going on? She was like, he was asking me if I put sand on. I'm like, sure, get your arms behind your fucking back. What? And then a kid in fucking red Hawaiian swim trunks. Went to jail that night and never got out. I remember it so vividly. I'm just kidding and having fun. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Isn't it a little bit funny? We're supposed to have some fun. So, yeah. The shows are coming up. Check out the website. Sign up for the Patreon. Send me a message. DM me. Until my manager takes over. And my manager is busy right now. Because I don't have one. They're busy with bigger names. And one day they'll help me. And we will sell out Madison Square Garden, which is just... We'll be like, it's just a square garden owned by someone named Madison. little trick we played on words there. But it's something we all do. That's the pod. It's been fun hanging out with you, telling some stories, talking some shit. Talking shit. Flipping our nips. Having fun. Shaking our buns. That's the pod. You have a good night. Or a good rest of your day. I got to do stuff I've been putting off that I sincerely don't want to, so I could do the Midwest goodbye and keep this pod going, but I'm not. I'm going to go be an adult. So loves, kisses, goodbye. Bye.